In the final episode, will we finally get to see whether this is actually Yuri or bait? And also, I assume Eri's slightly alive, but she'll probably die towards the end. And also, just looking at the title, I assume that's, you know, that's Eri that's wishing it, but who knows, right? I might be completely wrong. But we're gonna get right into it. Starts off with a fucking bass drop. Meanwhile... How long, huh? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. I was like, is Eri just jumping over to Caliban? Well, R.I.P. Suletta. Not as much as Eri. Wow, he just knows that it's that high at input. We've got time to make some tea. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wow, they're really evil, just really fucking standing up there in a glass tower. Y'all can't complain if we blow you up before you get yourself into the news, am I right? I mean, that's like one of the ways to get rid of it, right? Alright. Uh-oh. Keychain. It's Lauda. Yeah, and if you die, I'm coming to kill you. Was that Ariel just moving? I wasn't paying attention. Y'all gonna fight all these mobile suits with just two of you? Damn, dude, really just... really just bringing Ariel's body on over. Is that 3D? What if I get into Quiet Zero instead, huh? I won't hand Eri to you. Woohoo! Goddamn. But are you gonna be there for her? What the? In their respective places of being. That's why Eri protected everyone. Well, protected specifically you know, Prospera. Who needs Quiet Zero? Wow! You know what? Fuck the laser. I'm gonna blow up Quiet Zero. So she is plugging herself into Quiet Zero. Oh my god, it's Elan! You fucking son of a bitch! You know, I've been joking about the fact that the other Elan is just in here this whole time. This son of a bitch! Oh! Organoid. Wow! How nice. Actually... man's still wearing his glove. Still love just bring. And yet here you are, huh? It's a rainbow. Yeah, unless you don't want to get fucking blown up. Oh. This is what she was working with Shaddiq? Shaddiq! I don't know what that is. But, Shaddiq! How long have you been sitting in that room? Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking... get yourself on your feet. Oh my god. She's so angry. What about our assets? And then we get to see Real Elan smile. Oh, he's resigning. That's right, we can still fire this laser! Fuck your news! Oh, taking all the other gun bits. Sorry, not the other. Well, I mean... No, these are... No, these are the other Gundam. Okay. She's really just controlling other Gundams. Huh, silly laser. You can't fight the rainbow dust now, can't you? Exceeded score 8. Wow. The fuck? It's the only one capable of raising her score. So that's why she's able to do it? Alright. Oh my god! It's the pasta lady! The two lesbos who died in, like, prologue. You have committed a lot of sins. Cardo Nabo. You still got Suletta? What the fuck? Come on now. Why are you shining there? Are you dead, Suletta? Well, no, this is... You chose the future over revenge. It's what matters? It has my support. What you know? What do you know? What you... Wow. Is Quasar just disintegrating? Breaking apart at... Holy shit, dude. I mean... Alright, I assume Suletta's not also breaking at the particles, right? She's just gonna be floating out into space? So she's losing the Caliban? What if someone make another data storm, right? And then... Alright. The moment they started showing people, like, dead people in the data storm, all I could think of was Final Fantasy X. And how, like, you go into a certain space in the world, and you get to see, like, the dead spirits. Is there a Find My Phone app on that thing? Oh, is that Miorine? Coming to grab her? No, it's just Elan. Wait, no, it is Miorine. I could not, you know, I can barely see. Oh, you know, in space, no one can hear you cry. Unless you're overcoms. Oh my god. She's alive! Imagine if Suletta died after Eri said that she wanted to be with Suletta and her mom. Anyways, Prospera, since your legs are fucking dying and all, I guess you really do need support. Oh my, 3 years later! Oh my god! Nika came out of prison! She really doesn't look like she's got a fucking prison haircut. And then there's Elan fucking going to visit all the... Oh, he's going around Earth to find. But Quiet Zero was not your crime. It's for the greater good, isn't it? Damn, it's in 3 years, and now he's going on trial? Your sister-in-law. So that's, Oh, it's Petra. She's got fucking... Can you believe fucking Lauda survived the romance scam? The romance scam. So this is... real Elan. Dude, you can't fucking escape Secelia. Go. Damn, dude. Miorine took Shaddiq's harem. Damn, dude. Suletta's got permanent marks on her cheeks now. I guess that's the, So, it is her dream, right? And she wants to... Aries just... It's not like I do either. So, who's gonna get Prospera up that hill? This is the first opening, isn't it? We didn't even get Prospera to say anything. She's just like, ah, whatever. I'm gonna live out as a retired mother now. God, I love the gradient on this font. God, that gradient though, but also they're showcasing it in like the rainbowish dust. This is where the story concludes. Wow. Wow. Wow, okay. Well, we didn't get to see a wedding. We didn't get to see a tomato farm. I hate it. Alright, I'm gonna go write my notes and we will be right back to the center. God, dude, fucking Secelia cannot fucking leave Guel alone. She's going to fucking haunt this man forever. God, the way she just says Jeturk like the way she just fucking lengthened that just to really rub it in his fucking face. Alright, this whole thing with Prospera, right? And how, like, she just... half of her head is, like, now white. It's like, it's been 3 years. She just, I guess, is this just the, is this just the whole data storm infection thing that's like happening right there, right? That's affecting her, other than the fact that her whole body is now fucking paralyzed and all that? And also, the fact that, like, she's just out here taking a nap throughout the whole thing, right? I mean, she was slightly awake for, like, one scene, and then when we see her again, she's just, I'm gonna take a nap now. I can't stop thinking of Resident Evil 7. And the fucking grandma who you just see everywhere as you continue along with the map, you know, she's just fucking somewhere just posting at the corner. That's what I'm thinking of when I see Prospera. It's just like, oh my god, dude. I'm gonna like turn away and I'm gonna fucking find Prospera in like some sort of a fucking corner just humming a song to herself. Alright, so that was the final episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch From Mercury. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good finale, you know? We gone past the wedding, I guess. They were already married by the end of the 3 years later. And, truly, this episode was just a fucking Smash Brothers Ultimate. Like, everybody's here. We mean everybody. Even the people from the prologue, they've all been fucking just chilling in the data storm this whole time. You know, I've just been joking about how, like, oh, you know, eventually we're going to get to see the other Elan again, just because I felt like he had a little bit too much of an importance. But as we kind of just continue, we didn't see him. I was just like, I don't know, maybe we won't see him, you know, maybe I won't really mention it again. And then we get to see this motherfucker, and towards the end, he's just like, yeah, that's right, I'm in the data storm now. By the way, everybody else, they're also in the data storm now. Son of a bitch. And, God, dude, I mean, as I mentioned before, with them seeing all the dead people here, I was just thinking, like, if somebody just built up a data storm, and just build, like, a nice little area just for the data storm, does that mean that the dead people can just fucking come on over and hang out? That being said, you'd probably have to hit, like, a certain level of the permit level, the permit stuff. And, yeah, I was thinking about Final Fantasy X, because we have that part in the story, right? In the world, where you get to go and see the spirit of the dead. Although, unlike in Final Fantasy X, where you can just freely come in and out, you can't exactly do that with the data storm, because you're just gonna get a data storm infection, as we saw with Prospera's body, because we saw that little outline on her head. And she says that eventually her whole body is going to be paralyzed. Like, her legs is already dead, which I'm just kind of like, if your legs are dead, how the fuck are you moving? She's over like, I've managed to put on a good act. And I'm like, but how? How are you walking, Prospera? What the fuck's going on? Do you got mechanical legs? I guess that's something that we haven't seen yet, huh? I suppose that's also a reason why she has her helmet on. Even though we initially thought that, like, she was lying about why she was wearing her helmet, but it seems like, you know, she's probably is being true about that. Anyways, moving all of that aside, right, here we are with Prospera, who is talking about her paralysis, and with Suletta coming with Eri's body. I just find it very funny that she's just carrying Ariel around the place. But she goes and says, you know, my whole body's paralyzed, and but Eri will gain a world woven by Gun, and her freedom as well. So, you know, fucking do this shit, and so, if you care about Eri, you can move forward too, right? And, I don't know, did I skip? Yeah, all of us can find happiness in their respective places of being. So, we'll all be happy, but we're not going to be together. And it's just like, okay, that was the other question that I had, where, like, if she did manage to complete Quiet Zero, what the fuck is she going to do? Prospera, I mean, right? Like, was she somehow just gonna bypass into the data storm as well? Or, like, is she just gonna... And we kind of have the... Well, not kind of, we literally have the idea now, because here she is saying we're gonna be happy in our respective places. And with her having the data storm infection, if she builds this Quiet Zero and create this space, it means that only Eri can live there for the most part, and like all the other people, they're just gonna get data storm infection and their body's gonna get paralyzed, so either they have to like turn themselves into Gundams as well, which now I'm just kind of like, if Prospera can't even be with Eri if she had completed this whole thing, like what a lonely existence for Eri if she is only in her own space and she can't specifically interact with other humans because, you know, their body won't be able to handle this whole data storm infection thing. That's a really, you know, that's a really sad existence, and it's just like, oh, you know, it's a good thing that we didn't solve this. we didn't get this done. But throughout this whole thing, we do see Prospera putting on her, like, nice mom act, and it's just kind of like, alright, Prospera, we get it. You're trying to manipulate your daughter. But we have Suletta, who has grown through this pain, and she has come to her own conclusion of her own ideal that she has brought from her mom, right? The whole move forward, gain 2, but with her, move forward, even if you don't gain 2, you've got to move forward anyways. And we kind of saw with what she said, right, with, you know, if you care about Eri, you need to, what is it, you can move forward too, right? So she was trying to put her ideal back on Suletta, but Suletta disagrees, right? You're wrong, Mom. And she says that she doesn't want to lose her, she doesn't want to lose Eri either, and something that she says later on, right? She's a greedy girl. She wants to spend time with both Prospera and Eri. Which, you know, understandable. I don't know about you, Eri, but I wouldn't want to live alone for the rest of my life either. That just sounds really sad. God, you know, and the fact that Eri is now transferred over to the keychain, which I'm still very confused. Like, does this keychain already have a microphone in it? Like, unless she's somehow speaking through, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll get to that point later. So Suletta doesn't want to connect Eri back into Quiet Zero, so she decides that she's going to be the person who connects it, right? I mean, with Prospera saying like, oh, you can't handle this. You can't handle this fucking connection. You need to be level 8. And as she hits it, she sees Elan number 4. This motherfucker. This guy that I was fucking talking about. This son of a bitch. Well, yeah, he's here, and I assume he's the guy who stopped Quiet Zero and kind of like disabled the gun bits for the most part to let everybody come into Quiet Zero. So I assume it's Elan. Before, I assume it was No Tourette just because they were kind of just putting that connection to us, but we didn't really see No Tourette. I don't think we've never seen her face. So yeah, it's just the mystery that we'll always have, which, you know, I don't really mind. But I suppose it does make sense. I mean, not suppose, but it would have made sense either way if it was not Tourette or Elan, but it understandable for Elan. And I like that, you know, the both of them are able to have their final conversation with one another, and you can see the difference in fourth Elan right now, where, you know, before he was emotionally stunted, but now as he talks to Suletta, you know, he's got a well, I was gonna say he's got a bit of a smile, but, you know, his demeanor is a lot lighter than how he used to be in those first few episodes before he got blasted. But yeah, it was nice to see Elan number 4 again, and just to see, I really like I really like just this right here, just the two of them just touching. Very nice. So with that, Suletta reawakens Eri, and the whole thing that I was talking about, how, you know, she's greedy and she wants everything. And Eri, who towards the last episode, as she was defending people, everybody from the laser, and she looks back and she sees Suletta and smiles, right? It's perhaps even Eri is it's slowly conforming to Suletta's ideal. And here at this point, with Suletta saying that she wants to spend time with everybody, she doesn't want to lose. She doesn't want to lose her mom, and she doesn't want to lose her sister either. And Eri, who I would assume know what would have happened to her mom, but she's only doing it for her mom's happiness. You know, she comes to that understanding, and she's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want mom to die either. So it's very nice. We got to see a nice sequence where Eri just gives Suletta her gun bits and everything, which I suppose helps with the whole transferring Eri into the low keychain, I guess. But the next thing is Miorine broadcasting to everyone in Lagrange 4, so like that around that area, about the Benerit group dissolving and having the, you know, liquidation, you know, so all of the group's assets will be sold or merge with the Earthian corporations. And we see that this is her deal with Shaddiq, right? This is her trade. And it seems like they've decided to put all the blame on Shaddiq, which is something that, what is his name? His dad, Zanelli, I think that's what it is. No, Zanelli's the last name. Why can I suddenly not remember Shaddiq's dad's name? But anyways, we saw him with a little bit of a smile because that was what he told Miorine to do, right? You've got to make some sort of sacrifice. And here is Miorine, who decided that she was going to take the sacrifice, and the sacrifice was putting the blame on the Grassley and putting the blame on Shaddiq, albeit Shaddiq, as we saw in the 3 years later, he had also taken the blame of Quiet Zero as well, right? He's putting all of the sin upon him in order to in order to benefit the Earthians, right? And I assume that's why he's doing it. He's I was gonna say he's become Jesus, but you know, he's just become the holier than thou sort of spiel, right? Where I don't know, I know I shouldn't be using it like that. He's not holier than thou. He certainly has committed a lot of sins, and so he's paying off those sins by taking taking all of the blame and again putting it all on him, just like what his dad would have wanted him to do, I guess. Anyways, I was talking about how, you know, eventually they have to broadcast something, and I thought that they were gonna broadcast about, like, the Space Assembly League, but it seems like Miorine just wanted to broadcast the Benerit group dissolving, which cuts the deal between Peltech, because they had already, all of their assets has been sold as well, and we saw in 1229, right, we saw this fucking smile of real Elan, who's just like, alright fam, I'm outie, see you later, I'm resigning. He's grown tired of being on Peltech's leash. Although he says Pelgrade, I thought it was Peltech this whole time? Pelgrade? God, subtitles always be changing. Anyways, yeah, we do see Elan whenever we do see him, right? He's always just sitting, and waiting for people and such, and we've seen Peltech talking about, like, oh, don't worry, right? You'll be the leader eventually, we've just gotta prepare all of these things for you. And I remember we had one specific part where Elan's just like, am I going to get to do something? Which is probably when Peltech was like, don't worry, we're doing everything for you, and then eventually you'll come up to, you know, the position that you should be. So that's the storyline that real Elan's been building up. He's fucking tired of not doing anything. Which you know what, I'm glad that we've got to do something with real Elan, and we see 3 years later he was working with Guel. I don't know how he's working with Guel, but, well, I mean, he did say it. He's like, hey, I hope keep the school open. I hired people and all that, so whatever real Elan does, he's really good at it, even though we've never seen him do it. He's always been chilling, but we do know that he has, like, some sort of high intelligence, because he was picked by the AI of Peltech. So for the most part, that's, like, the end of real Elan's story for now. I mean, the whole thing is a conclusion, right? And then we've got this was right in between with Miorine's broadcast, right? And the blame being put on Shaddiq, and he says in Roman, or is it Latin? I think is this Latin? I know that this is something that was used by Rome. So Italian. Anyways, so Alea, I'm not even gonna tell. Alea Iacta S. The die is cast, right? This is the point of no return. He has worked on this deal with Miorine, and as what Miorine said 3 years later, hey, why did you do this to yourself? Right? You could have just taken your sin on Plant Keta, but you took the sin of Quiet Zero as well. And he just tells her, I've decided on this a long time ago. And it's just like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess the long time ago is right here, right? Right? Because he's realized that he's now at this point of no return. He has to deal with all of the sin that he has put upon himself. So, very nice. Very interesting. But after that, Suletta uses the power of the rainbow to override the laser, and we kind of learn from Prospera that Suletta was the only person who was capable of raising Ares' score, which I assume they've tried other people as well, if Prospera says that. So yeah, she's the only one capable of raising Ares' score, which is understandable that she's able to bypass level 8 as well, right? Everything stemmed from Suletta. She is the key, and unfortunately, Prospera kind of tossed the key away a little too early. I'm still trying to figure out what this rainbow thing is. I mean, I assume it's like the data storm, except she's just like expanding it real big, and then it got to the point where they're all disintegrating, which also reminds me of Final Fantasy X. Ooh. If you know, you know. So at this part with Prospera seeing all the prologue people, right? She gets to see Nadim, she got to see Cardonabo, the two lesbian lady that we got to see in the prologue. And God, when Nadim said, come home to the children, I'm just like, which children? The one who are dead or the one who's still alive? I don't know, but so she got to have a talk with all the other people, right? They're just like, you're doing... Wait, hold on. You've made us all... Wait, hold on. You've made us all proud, but isn't it too early for her to come here? Just come home. You've done enough, haven't you? Huh. So, like, they're just like, hey, man, you shouldn't be in the dead people's land just yet. You've got a whole life to live. And we've got Prospera who goes and be like, I've committed too much sin. I can't go back. That whole fucking spiel, right? And then we've got Suletta, who brought Prospera into this area that, you know, we've seen Suletta before. And Prospera says, you called everyone here from Ariel, didn't you? What does that mean? Everyone? Everyone? Like the children of the coven? Or like, but she's also talking about the people in the prologue too, right? Whatever. It's the final episode. I don't... No more theorizing from me. But we saw what Suletta says, right? For Eric's sake, Eri, for her sake, you chose the future over revenge, which is something that I remember someone had mentioned before, right? It's the idea that Prospera could have taken revenge this whole time, but instead she had switched her plan to start working with Dylan, the man who fucking killed her entire family and loved ones. Right, here's Prospera working with Dylan for Ares' sake, choosing this future, albeit what a shitty fucking future when we really think about it, but it's alright, it's whatever, good thing Prospera failed, right? And we see, I love that when Suletta is telling this to Prospera, Prospera's just like, what the fuck do you know? This is like, chill, Prospera, it's your daughter, goddamn. I get it, you know? You much more enjoy Eri over Suletta, but like, goddamn. So we have Eri telling Prospera that, hey, I don't want to do this shit, alright? I just want to be with you and Suletta, and I like that. I very much enjoy that as we kind of start seeing that Eri's has now switched over to Suletta's side, which was something that that I remember talking about, how like it, well, also with Suletta saying like, oh, I can't talk with my mom. I can't negotiate with my mom. And that's why I gotta go talk to Eri instead. That's right, if it's a 2v1, you know? Mom's gotta concede. So, yeah, we've got this whole thing. We've had a nice scene of Prospera finally being able to hug her daughter again after 20 years. How sad. And then we see that the permit is breaking apart at particle level, which is just like, what in the absolute fuck? What? Right? So, like, all the Gundams are just evaporating. They're just turning into space particles. Or, yeah, they're turning into space particles. You know, when I said that the Quiet Zero's gotta go, I didn't realize it was gonna go so beautifully. Thought it was just gonna get blown up or something, but I guess not. We've gotta have nice little rainbow particles instead. And so we saw Suletta reaching out to, Eri, and that was the point where she switched, she transferred everybody onto a small, tiny keychain. Okay, so here in this point where she's just, you know, floating in space, and we see the little shine, I assume that this shine, for some reason, is... Wait, is this also... Okay, hold on. Whatever. I'll scratch that for now. Yeah, I thought this was like a Find My Phone kind of app, except in space. But maybe the shine is the confirmation that Eri got swapped on over to the tiny little keychain, which... It's nice, you know, very nice that Eri gets to continue living. We'll just not think about the whole thing that she's most likely immortal and she's going to outlive all these humans. So, I don't know, like, eventually she'll outgrow everybody, and then they're just gonna be like, well, you know, somebody's gonna find this keychain. It's just like, there's just a fucking AI in this keychain. But we won't talk about the longevity of this whole thing, right? Being a long-lived species that is Eri, right? We won't talk about it because that's just sad. Instead, we'll talk about the whole 3-year stuff. So Nika went to prison, which looks like... Okay, hold on. I have to go all the way back because, not here, but where? I thought there was... Yeah, right here, 3 years later. And it shows us this fucking prison. It's like, is this a maximum security prison? Was Nika just... was Nika just in, like, some fucking high-ass prison right here? Like, Jesus Christ. I guess she has committed the crimes, but, like, goddamn, dude. And then she comes out with, a new fucking haircut, which I'm still trying to figure out what... I actually really like it, but... the inside of her hair was blue. So I guess she just cut her hair, and then she's still got, like, some sort of blue. I don't know. Either way, Nika really came out looking like a prison lesbian, so good for her. It's nice. Yeah, she basically finished dealing with her crimes, and you see this fucking gate. And we've got, like, barbed wires everywhere. Like, this truly is a maximum prison. She's just been... I thought this guy right here was Elan in another scene, but it was just Till. I was hoping that we would get to see real Elan's face, but I suppose since it got taken by Peltech, and, like, perhaps Peltech is the only person who has that technology, he can't really take his face back, but he's decided that he's gonna go and explore Noria's notebook instead, right? She's drawn all these scenery, so now he's just on Earth, just exploring the place, which... You know what? Very nice, right? He's doing the things that hopefully Noria would have wanted. And I love that he's fucking complaining about it too. He's like, you could have fucking at least written where this place was. Shit, this is like fucking Breath of the Wild where you only have like pictures of Zelda's memories and you gotta go find where it is. Son of a bitch. Although I do wonder, is his eyes the same as it was before? Was it always green? I haven't really looked at his eyes yet. I will say, let me see. Well, real Elan's eyes are green. Yeah, it's green. His just look greener. Elan number 5, I mean. it's alright. You know, he's out here living his life, so that's good for him. Hopefully he'll find another purpose after he finished exploring Noria's notebook. So we've got the confirmation from Eri that Suletta and Miorine are married, because Eri is talking about herself and saying that she's the sister-in-law. So, very nice. And we've got Miorine, who goes and says, "Oh, you're just like your mother," which is... you sure remind me of your mother, which is just fantastic, dude. Can you fucking believe it? These two survived the romance death flag. Good for them. That's all I have to say. Good for them. When did they start having feelings for one another? I didn't even know. When did this started? God damn it. And so we've got Guel, who's the president of the Jaturt company, I assume, or I don't know. We see real Elan, who's working with Guel. God, I was gonna say Shaddiq. And he was talking about all of the achievement that he's helped with Guel, right? He kept the school open, and you know, as I was saying, he helped find him new jobs for his employees. It's your turn to listen, which is, I guess that's why Elan really wants, right? He wants to be in a position of power. He's like, come on now, I've helped you with all these things, now listen to me. And we've got Secelia, who is just going to fucking torment Guel for the next century. Like, she's working as his assistant now? Like, what the fuck's going on here? Guel is just gonna get teased for the rest of his fucking life, this poor boy. But I very much enjoy it. And towards the end, we get to see Suletta with the kids. She says she's, wow, what she said, that she wants to open a school, right? That's the thing that she wanted to do when she first came to the Aticia and all that, right? That she wanted to open up a school in Mercury and bring more people to Mercury. Albeit, I guess we're not opening it in Mercury right now, right? And this place is so much better for Prospera and all that. And yeah, we unfortunately, we don't get to see the tomatoes. I just realized. Come on now. Where are the tomatoes, Miorine? You're too busy working on your business shit and not growing tomatoes? Tisk. Oh yeah, she does have the ring on her. How nice. Okay, and then we get to see the ring on Suletta's. Prospera. Also, I love Eri. That's just fucking complaining about, like, I don't get what's so great about living in the countryside. I'm like, Eri, you're a fucking robot now. I mean, you're a keychain now. What would you fucking know? Before that, you were just in a goddamn Gundam. You don't even know how to live. But we do see just this, that little bit of yuriness, right? With the way that Miorine is holding on to Suletta's arm. It truly is a way of just telling us that the yuri is not bait, but also not showing us anything at the same time. They've got us. Sunrise, they've got us. They're like, look, this technically isn't yuri bait because they actually got married, but we're not gonna show you anything else other than the ring and them, Miorine holding on to Suletta's arm, and all that other shit. We're not gonna show you it. But at least you know that the yuri is not bait, and that's pretty much all I have about this episode. So let me talk to you about how I feel about this anime as a whole. So, okay. The first Cour, I really liked it. I felt that it was, very lighthearted, and then eventually it graduates into Cour 2, which is just pain. It's just pain. But I feel like the way that it ended, it's definitely a lot lighter than what I feel for some Gundam series. That being said, I don't really watch Gundam, but I know that Gundam kind of, delves into a little bit more heavy subjects, I assume. I don't know. I'm just making a guess now at this point. But yeah, the way that this ended, it certainly makes me feel just a little bit more relieved, right? Because, like, it was starting to feel like we're just killing people off here and there, but but now the way that this ended, it really just felt like we just killed off the Expendables, which, oops, didn't want to say that Noria and Sophie are Expendables, but like, you know, we didn't really get any death from like the main cast, if that makes sense, right? But that being said, I'm glad that it ended like this. But then some part of me is just like, if only we could have done this a lot darker. But I wouldn't want that. Like, I wouldn't want to, I would never want to watch this series ever again. But with the way that it ended, you know, maybe in the next few years or something, if I were to think about this anime again, you know, I might consider watching it just because of the way that it ended. So it is quite nice. I would say that, let's see. I feel like I've been generous a lot with all these anime when it comes to like me giving a rating. I feel like I've been a lot more generous, but also that's just me feeling like I've been a lot more open to a lot of things and like being a lot more loose with my ratings, because if you had asked a much older Ike on what my rating is for this anime, I'd probably give it a 7. But it certainly is up there, but it's probably like, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10, just because I really like, I really like the character developments throughout all of these, throughout the 24 Cour, and I just really enjoy how each characters are dealing with their, are dealing with their own situation, right, with the 3 boys, Shaddiq, Guel, and Elan, and I've already mentioned how interesting of Elan as a character, right, where we know more about the fake Elan than we do the real Elan. But yeah, we got to see, you know, the way that Shaddiq and Guel are dishing it out with each other, but also through their own path as well, right? So I thought that was very nice. I do kind of wish we got to see just a little bit more of Earth House, but consider how Earth House is such a big fucking group, I thought that they had a good amount of time developing, especially for the 2 more important people. Well, we've also got Martin as well. But, you know, the 2 more important people of Earth House, aka Nika and Choo Choo. And it's just, you know, it's very nice, right? We're dealing with the issue of, I'm a little bit everywhere. We're dealing with the issue of, I was gonna say segregation, kind of, but, and also, you know, superiority within the group, right? Because when it comes to humans, we've always got to have some sort of superiority towards others, whether it's for your race or whatever. And in this case, we've split it off between the Spacians and the Earthians. Just nice to see, as we're getting almost close to a war period, right? And getting the students getting to experience what war could be, except they're experiencing it at a minuscule rate, even though there's still a lot of death, right? That this is very minimal compared to what would happen if there is an all-out war. But also, just for, you know what, since I've already talked about Spacians and Earthians, it is nice to see in the first Cour, right, to see the attitude from the Spacians and us getting integrated into Earth House and to see this shit that they have to go through. And then in Cour 2, as the whole terrorist thing starts to blow up, we get to see the much worse treatment that Earth House gets because of the whole terrorist stuff and the way that the Spacians are treating them. But as the Spacians get attacked, as the school gets attacked, right, the students get attacked, they get to experience the Earthian simulator. But here, as they complain and you know, cry about being a part of the Earthian simulator, the people who are helping them is the Mercurian lady and the Earth House. And I really enjoy to see, you know, the opinion of the Spacians mode because of Earth House, and it got to the point where Earth House was getting ready to leave, right? And they're able to put this list of taking care of the animals to the Spacians, which, like, if we were talking about Cour 1 Spacians, they'd probably just be like, fuck the animals. Let them die. Right? That's probably would be how they feel back in Cour 1, but here we are in Cour 2 towards the end of the series. They know that Earth House isn't all that bad, and they know that when they were suffering, Earth House was out here handing them free tomatoes and towels and everything, right? They were helping them keep their spirit up and hopefully keeping their belly filled just a little bit. So I like that we've got that part with the Spacians helping out and also coming to the realization that, damn, dude, all of this for taking care of an animal? This is even worse than when I have to maintenance the machines and everything. So it's very nice. And we kind of got to see how the Earthians in the Earth House changed their mind as well. But this is a lot more focused on Choo Choo. And so we see Choo Choo in the first Cour, who's very against the Spacians, right? She'll fucking call them names just the same way that the Spacians would call the Earthians name, right? She's projecting her anger out on them, and, well, she's projecting their anger back on them, right? She's just saying the same words that they're saying. And throughout the whole thing, the voice of reason for Earth House, for the most part, is Nika, who wants to bridge the gap between the Earthians and the Spacians, and Choo Choo never really understand that until the whole war shit happens, right? When this whole, not war, but when the whole fucking battle and the terrorist shit happens and they get to experience what real potential war is, or real battle, I mean. Right, she starts to change as well, and it's just really nice to see, to see how Choo Choo change over time, and as she sees that the Spacians that she was not really, she wasn't really into at first, like with Miorine, right, coming in to help out with Earth House and, hiring them for the gun arm ink and everything. Alright, with Choo Choo being worried for Nika, and then here is Miorine coming in to help her with finding where Nika is, right, and her thanking Miorine for it. I thought that was really nice. And then there's the whole fostering relationship between Earth House and the Shaddiq House, where the Shaddiq House are filled with a lot of arrogant students, and we could see that with Guel. We could see that with the two other girls who were hanging out with Guel, Petra and Falsey. And we start to, and Lauda as well, of course, and we started to see their attitude started changing, and it all starts with Choo Choo, for the most part, right? With Lauda almost dying, and Falsey, I think it was Falsey. Was it Falsey or Pet? I don't know. I think it was Falsey, because she was yelling out for help, and here's Choo Choo, who could have just ignored them, but since she has experience, since she has seen real battle before at Planet Keta, and, all these people that are dead, she's decided that she's going to help them. She's going to help these people who are fucking crying for their life. So, the relationship between Earth House and the Shaddiq House started to change, and, despite them having just a slight bit of low animosity, they still end up, like, helping each other out, and I very much enjoy that. And the same thing kind of goes with Guel, right? Guel goes through his change, and how he was this arrogant, cocky boy who just wanted his father's approval, and towards the end, he's a lot more mature, he's a lot calmer now, and he has one thing on his mind, which is to continue his family's legacy. He's not going to let his father's memories die. So I enjoy just the nice slow change, and just the relationship being fostered within the Earthians and the Spacians, because as we all know, or as we should know, the best thing to do when it comes to change, right? If you want to change a country, if you want to change a certain thing, it has to be the kids who are making the change, right? They are literally the future. And it's much harder to change the minds of the old people who have lived with this animosity for the Earthians or Spacians their whole life, right? It's a lot harder to change their mind than it is to change the kids, who are much more impressionable. And so if you want a better future, you need to educate these kids and hopefully get them to understand the horribleness of all this Spacian and Earthian wars, right? So I very much like it. I like that. That's why most of the setting that we've been in are in school with young and impressionable students, because we know that when the Spacian students are talking shit about the Earthians, they're not, they weren't born with this hate for Earthians, right? They have to have learned it from Spacian culture. They have to have learned it from their parents, from their family, from their friends, who have also learned it from their family and culture, right? So it's so I like that this is how I like that this is the setting for the students, and then, you know, for a whole, not really racial war, because they're not really different races, but you know, the group war or whatever, it's whatever. Since I'm still on the topic of character and growth, you know, I already mentioned Guel. I really like his story, or as some of the Gundam fans would say, he's the classic Gundam protagonist, and he was going through his stuff, right? And we've got Shaddiq, who, as we realize that after he knew that he had lost Miorine completely, he went, you know, he went balls to the walls. And he just decided, fuck it, I'm gonna just start getting all these terrorists and we're gonna fuck people up. And so, yeah, we've got that whole thing for Shaddiq, and then Shaddiq kind of just started taking a backseat eventually, just because, you know, he's kind of, throughout the whole thing, he's kind of been the guy who's been moving the pieces along quite well. And yeah, he took the backseat towards the end, understandable, because we started to lean more towards Prospera and Eri and Suletta and all that jazz. And for Elan, well, I've already mentioned Elan. He's a very interesting character, where we know more about fake Elan than real Elan. And it's I don't know, considering we know more about fake Elan than real Elan, it's just like, what does this Elan actually want? Like, is he actually good or evil, you know, that whole thing? Perhaps he's just a morally gray man, just like the other Elans. And also Peltek in general, right? Well, Peltek is a little bit more on the evil side, but it's whatever. All their assets are gone, and I don't know what they're gonna fucking do. Whatever. There's also Elan number 5, which has gone through a considerable amount of change as well in not a short amount of time. I feel like he's had a good amount of time, just like Guel, who has, you know, gone through the changes as well. So that Elan, very nice. The fact that they managed to get us to ship him and Noria in like 3 episodes or something, it was very nice. But Noria is the catalyst for his change. So I thought that was really nice. And I've kind of mentioned this with how Elan's story interconnect with other people, and how they kind of share similar stories, right? With Elan number 4 and how he felt for Suletta, and then with Elan number 5 and how he felt for Noria. So very much enjoy their story intertwining, despite them being completely different people, but also sharing the same name and face. And well, yeah, Elan's character, fucking nice. I really enjoy how they did him. Alright, I'll be here forever if I keep talking about the characters. I do also want to talk about Nika and Choo-Choo, but I already mentioned Choo-Choo. I think Nika's a little self-explanatory, and Martin is, well, it's Martin. The music is really fucking great. It certainly lives up to, I don't know why I keep wanting to say space opera, but I guess, right? It really does live up to that feel. I love the fucking not the chorus, I love the fucking choir. I love the woman voice that just comes in, just going, ha, in the background. It's so fucking good. Gets me every fucking time. I'm just like, this is fucking epic. And so yeah, I really enjoy the music for this. My highlights is definitely the vocals. When it really fucking kicks in, it certainly fucking kicks. So yeah, that's but other than that, I don't really have too much else to say about the music. I just really enjoyed. I think it fits the animation and the art and everything. It's a lot different from what I would assume Gundam usually is. You know, this is a very different take on Gundam, especially with the whole fucking Yuri bait and all that. And the character designs are just almost feeling like idol-ish type characters, you know, with the way that they all got like different hair colors. I mean, just look at Nika with her fucking with the colors of the blue under her black hair, right? It's just like wild. And we've got fucking Choo-Choo, like what the shit? So yeah, I certainly enjoy the character design. I've totally forgot to talk about Prospera, but it's whatever. The character design and all that, very nice. A lot of the Gundams, or a lot of the mobile suits, they were drawn by, they were drawn, I think, right? We don't really got to see a lot of 3D for these models, which I thought was pretty nice, right? Because it would have saved you so much more money and time if you had just used a 3D model. But the fact that a lot of the times the mobile suits were drawn, it looks very nice. It looks clean, and I love the way that they move around and everything. I'm not really sure if at some point they also, you know, mix in between 3D and hand-drawn, but who knows, right? Who knows? There were some parts where I can just look at it and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's 3D, alright? Kind of like with the final episode when, I think it was when Suletta was coming in, with Suletta was coming into Quiet Zero. I think that was the part where I was just like, oh, that looks like 3D. And I think it was, because it looked very obvious. So I talked about, I gave it a rating. I talked about the whole Earthian Spacians things. I talked about character growth, the music, the animation. I feel like I'm always, I need to just write this down on a list so I can just remember what I should be talking about for the anime. Well, you know what, I did want to talk a little bit about Prospera, and it's just, Prospera is, she certainly is a character, right? Her whole entire thing is just a mother's love and what a mother's love can do. Right, with her choosing her daughter's happiness over revenge, which was something that we saw in the short story, with her talking about how she wants to deal revenge, but eventually at some point she swapped that and she decided to aim for Eri's happiness instead. And it's like, okay, like that's nice and all. Like, I'm glad that you still love your mother, Suletta, and that you've decided that, you know, you want to spend time with both your mother and Eri. You know, I think Eri's a cool person, but I don't know. I feel like Prospera is still just kind of... Prospera really gives off that vibe of like, yeah, I love you, child, but I love your older sister a whole lot more than you. And like... God, it's so fucking messed up. And the fact that, like, we don't even get to see Prospera say anything. She's just in a fucking wheelchair, just napping away. What in the absolute fuck? So, like, as a character, I do like Prospera, right? I do like her voice, and I really enjoy this manipulation tactics of hers as well, but because that was how she did it, and that was how she dealt with, you know, the people around her, it was just kind of... Alright, Prospera is like a neutral character for me. I feel like I understand where she's coming from, but I don't particularly agree with it, right? So I certainly like these sort of characters where, you know, I have a very neutral stance on them, but when it comes to all these sort of characters, right, characters that perhaps people don't particularly like, but that being said, not saying that Prospera is not a, you know, unlikable character. I think she is likable in the way that she is, but again, I just don't agree with her situation, and well, not agree with her. Imagine I just go up to Prospera and tell her, yeah, this whole fucking tragedy that you've experienced, I don't agree with you. What the fuck does that mean? But I don't agree with her methods, right? But I do like her as a character. But yeah, I like these sort of characters where they don't have to be likable, whether it's to me or to the audience, but as long as you give me a good amount of understanding in their character, it makes me, you know, I like that, just to know why this character pick and why they are operating the way that they are, even if they're not likable. So yeah, I very much enjoy Prospera's character. The one thing that I will say in terms of, like, it's, I don't know, it's, has this Assembly League been mentioned this whole time? Like in Cour 1? I don't remember. If somebody could tell me if in Cour 1 we had the mention of the Space Assembly League. Because, like, and also with, like, the fucking subtitles just wanting to change things all the time, right? Because, like, it was the Assembly League, and then it was the Space Assembly League, and it's just like, okay, who are these people? And we started talking to, like, higher-ups of the Assembly League, and I'm like, who the fuck are these people? They're the fucking boogeyman. And then we got to see, like, this big big evil man, big government evil man coming in. I'm gonna shoot my fucking laser. And I'm just over like, who the fuck are these people? Suddenly they're the villains. Oh my god. It's like that feeling of, okay, we can't have these people fight anymore, right? We can't have Prospera and her Quiet Zero gang fighting with our other gang as well, right? We've got to have another villain in there, which, they have been building up as the boogeyman this whole time. We've got to have this other villain coming in, so then, not that they have to work with one another, it's just that they just have to get the fuck out of here. So, yeah, it's I don't know. I don't really know. I feel rather neutral about it, but I a lot of, like, thoughts that I feel would be negative, they kind of have just vanished away from me now. I don't know what happened. Must be Quiet Zero. Just like how Quiet Zero is, my brain is fucking disintegrating at particle level right now. I was joking about my brain disappearing. I was joking about my brain disintegrating at a particle level, but I literally do not have anything else to say. But other than that, alright, thank you guys for sticking around. If you've been here since, like, since the prologue, I appreciate you. It's been a long time. It's been a long while. And, I hope to see you guys around, and if I don't, I'll just see you guys when I see you guys. Also, if I have anything else to write in the description and all that, yeah, whatever.